My debut novel, Scars Can Frighten, will be available soon on Amazon Kindle, paperback version coming later. This has been a passion project for several years, and I'm happy to finally announce it. Look forward to a trailer very soon. And now, on with the review. Hello everybody, this is the Kangaroo dude. Sometimes you have a movie that isn't good, but not necessarily terrible either, but for some bizarre reason, someone thinks it's a good idea to cash in on it with a pointless direct-to-DVD sequel. While Disney pretty much pioneered the early 2000s with god-awful pandering garbage, other studios ended up giving their films the same treatment. The film I will be exploring today is Kangaroo Jack. The original movie was released back in 2003, and some people remember it fondly, but it's by no means great. The film was produced by Jerry Bruckheimer, who, at the time, did a lot of work for various franchises such as Top Gun, Beverly Hills Cop, National Treasure, and of course, Pirates of the Caribbean. The plot centers around two best friends named Charlie Carbone, played by Jerry O'Connell, and Louis Booker, played by Anthony Anderson. After a heist goes wrong, Charlie meets with his stepfather, who is a crime boss named Salvador Maggio, played by Christopher Walken. He instructs the two to travel to Australia and deliver a sealed, money-filled envelope to a hitman named Mr. Smith. Once they arrive, the two drive through the desert and accidentally run over a kangaroo. Believing that the animal is dead, they decide to do what any rational and sane person would in the situation: put their jacket on the corpse and take pictures with it. The kangaroo suddenly wakes up and hops away while still wearing the jacket, but Louis quickly realizes that the envelope was inside the coat pocket. From there, it's a race against time to find the kangaroo, who they refer to as Jackie Legs, and reclaim the money before Mr. Smith finds them. The film was okay, but I think of it as a guilty pleasure. While it is a fun adventure, it has awful comedy mostly consisting of fart jokes and crappy slapstick. It's stupid, but I think it can be entertaining at times because of how bad it is. Over a year and a half later, a fully animated sequel was released called Kangaroo Jack: G'day USA. This might actually be favorable, because now the kangaroo can actually stand out as a main character instead of being reduced to a plot device. I have no idea how the original left room for a future installment, but maybe it's not so bad. After all, if they recreate the same idiotic humor in animation, I might be more forgiving of it. Either way, let's hop into it and check out Kangaroo Jack: G'day USA. The film opens with some pretty decent animation as we quickly see our two hapless protagonists running for their lives. What looks like a promising hook is immediately ruined when we see that it was just a shampoo commercial.
No! This is supposed to be an action piece. I'm not feeling it. Fellas, you're big, scaly guys. Help me out here. I need a real attack. Think menace, sheer terror. Louis, you were magnificent.
Excuse me, Jackie? I mean, Mr. Legs. How about me?
You were very good too, Charlie. But what do you say this time we give all your lines to Louis?
Okay, Boomer. So Jackie Legs, voiced by Jeff Bennett, criticizes the cast for their performance before the entire crew turns on him.
Come on, mate. It's all in good fun.
You want to see terror? How's this for terror?
So it was all a dream as Louis wakes up and tries to warn Charlie and his wife Jessie that Jackie is in trouble. The original cast does not return to reprise their roles. Instead, Charlie is voiced by Josh Keaton, who is also known for his voice work in Voltron, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Disney's Hercules. Louis is now voiced by Ahmed Best, who is infamously best known as the voice of Jar Jar Binks from the Star Wars prequels. I'll say that he's a pretty decent replacement for Anthony Anderson, and he does give a new and less annoying voice to the character. Finally, Jessie, voiced by Kath Soucie. She was played by Estella Warren in the first film, but for some reason, her hair color was changed from blonde to red. While some people might remember my distaste for Susie, I actually think she plays the role of Jessie pretty well. Definitely an improvement over Warren in the original. Sadly, we get no character development between her and Charlie, but maybe that's a good thing considering their first interaction went something like this.
Louis, they feel so real.
So Jessie blatantly explains to the audience that they are in Australia to find a new ingredient to help their struggling shampoo company, and she does this in a very sloppy way that just dumps out the exposition. Maybe they wouldn't be so low on funds if they didn't blow most of their money on a yacht at the end of the first film.
But it was so real. I mean, other than the fact that all the animals were talking.
It makes perfect sense. We're back in Australia on a quest to find a new shampoo formula so our company doesn't go out of business, and we're surrounded by kangaroos. What else would you dream about?
I'd rather not say.
Let's hope he packed extra underwear. So the Jeep travels through the desert without rotating its tires, and they eventually find an Aboriginal tribe led by an elderly man named Chief Uncle Moody. By the way, there's an awful running joke where Louis keeps getting the name wrong, and you'll be glad to know that I won't participate. So the chief explains that his tribe is in trouble as 4 sacred jewels have been stolen.
We are the keepers of the stones. Long, long ago, the sky dwellers entrusted us with 4 sacred stones. One as red as fire, one as blue as the sky, one as green as the ocean, and one as black as night. And now they have been taken.
Who did this?
An evil man with a smiling forehead and another carrying a snake on his arm.
So Louis puts on his jacket, and the entire tribe recognizes him and Charlie as the chosen nonsense that'll restore peace to the land or something. I don't know why this was necessary, since he already agreed to help them in exchange for finding the jewels. The chief sends them on their way, and the Jeep, which inexplicably has 2 gas gauges, runs out of fuel. They pull over to refuel, and they notice a group of kangaroos nearby.
Charlie, Jessie, it's Jackie Legs.
How? How does he immediately identify a single kangaroo out of the group? Also, this is one hell of a coincidence. Apparently, eating Twizzlers and wanting to murder Charlie is enough confirmation for them to recognize him. Either way, this reunion is quickly interrupted when a group of poachers show up and kidnap him right on the spot. Charlie, Louis, and Jessie then follow the caravan back to their camp and discover a small animal smuggling ring as Jackie Legs is tranquilized and put into a crate with a collar around his neck. The group sneaks aboard the truck and hides inside one of the crates before the poachers attempt to open it.
Holy dooly, that's heavy. What's in there?
Let's take a look.
Phew. It's one of those dang camels. Why'd know that smell anywhere? Just keeps getting worse.
My bad.
So the crates are brought to the Sydney International Airport and are prepared to be sent to Las Vegas to be presented at some live educational TV show. Louis says that he has a cousin in Vegas by coincidence and gives him a call to meet them when they land. Once they arrive at the storage unit, the group finds Jackie and manage to escape with him. By the way, some animator accidentally drew Jackie, a male kangaroo, with a pouch. No one caught that? I could easily fix that with the most basic editing software. Even then, the slit is very awkwardly placed on his body, so it kind of looks like the poacher sold his kidneys. So Louis puts his jacket on Jackie Legs again and sneaks him out of the warehouse while 2 henchmen notice and follow them. When Louis's cousin Ronald arrives, he drives them out in his limo while he admits to having a camera in his rearview mirror, which is odd and strangely never comes into play again. So Jackie Legs wakes up just as they drive through the Las Vegas Strip, and he leaps onto the limo before cartoonishly jumping from roof to roof.
Awesome! The Russian judge gives that dude a 10. Whoa! Check out the hop!
I hope he shows. I definitely want to party with that dude.
And the people in this world are so stupid that they can't tell a kangaroo when they see one. Unless they're just really open-minded to the furry community. So despite causing a major traffic jam, the limo survives undamaged as Jackie Legs hops into one of the casinos. While he's surrounded by people in a brightly lit environment with strange sounds and smells for the first time, Jackie is relatively calm and starts to dance to some smooth jazz. Somehow everyone is so brain-dead and distracted not to notice a red kangaroo in the casino. He soon makes his way to the buffet table, and only then does someone care.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Creature in the food court!
Finally, someone with a brain!
What is that, a giraffe?
Okay, I take back what I said. I mean, you see a kangaroo right in front of you and the first thing you say is...
It's a giraffe!
Because we need a repeat of a childish joke from the first film, Jackie eats a chili pepper and goes on a rampage.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
After some awful slapstick, Charlie and Lewis go into the basement and unknowingly shut themselves inside of a cage with a panther.
Wait a minute. Lewis, take your clothes off.
You take your clothes off.
No, he smells the roast beef. The turkey from the buffet. That's what he's after.
Not sure why they chose to take their pants off, but whatever. So Jackie escapes the room, while the two men are raised to a stage through the ceiling as part of a magic act.
That was a beautiful girl. Now prowls a majestic beast.
Hello.
Holy moly, I don't believe it.
Me neither. I didn't even know they was in show business.
You know?
Tell me this. How come you're half naked?
Well, if you must know, we were trapped in a cage with a panther, and the only way we could save ourselves was by taking off our clothes.
Ta-da.
Fine. You don't want to tell me, don't tell me.
CDR 249.
Just then, we awkwardly cut to some boxing match where the champion is fighting Jackie for no apparent reason.
All right, a left, another left, and a kiss to the forehead. Who would have thought it? The thunder from down under, this unheralded kid from the outback is taking it to the champ.
Don't call it a comeback! I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion! Overpowering, over the competition I'm towering.
I'll be fair and say that I actually like this song sequence. The animation isn't as terrible as the rest of the film, Jeff Bennett does a good job at recreating it, and while it is pointless, it is well put together. So this was obviously just another dream, and the two wake up just as a news report comes on that explains that the Kangaroo is a part of an elaborate smuggling ring to bring illegal jewels into the country. Also, I like how they parody McCarran Airport by calling it McLaren, so I guess they'll have to call it the Harry Seed Airport or something. Charlie quickly realizes that the collar Jackie was wearing must have been used to smuggle the jewels, and that they are now the prime suspects. Not long after, they are visited by two police officers who arrive to investigate.
Don't get the wrong idea. We're here to help.
We know you didn't pack those gems in Australia.
That's right. So just turn them over to us, and we'll be able to straighten this whole thing out and get the real bad guys.
We don't have them, but we know where they are.
Where?
Lewis bludgeons both of them simply because they were wearing suspicious-looking sneakers, and the group discovers that they are the real jewel thieves as described by the chief. Just as Ronald abandons the others to find Jackie and the jewels on his own, Jesse magically finds an address book and a set of keys to the limo, so they follow him where the Kangaroo was last seen. As they travel through town, Lewis tries to convince the others that they are the true chosen ones.
We are the chosen ones. Nothing can stop us. Let's look at the facts. If I hadn't let one fly in the crate back in Australia, those poachers would have found us, and we would have been dead meat. But I did let one fly. We escaped an FBI stakeout at the airport that we didn't even know was there. We survived a face-to-face encounter with a vicious panther. I knocked out 2 fake cops with 1 frying pan twice. And if that's not enough, Ronald probably has 3 customers to his name. And one of them calls us and practically hands us Jackie Legs on a platter.
What does that even prove? Those events really aren't that significant. So Lewis nearly causes an accident and magically flies through the air only to land right next to the house Ronald is at. Okay, so that's a bit miraculous. Or product of lazy writing, depending on how you want to look at it. So Jackie Legs manages to escape again, and Ronald drives off to go to another job site, leaving the others with no further lead.
Any ideas, oh chosen one?
Yup, him, Outback Ollie. If anyone can help us catch a kangaroo, it's that man there.
So they meet with Outback Ollie, voiced by Jim Ward, who quickly recognizes the three from the news. Lewis explains the mix-up and Ollie sympathizes with them, agreeing to send Jackie back to Australia. He gives them some equipment and believes that the kangaroo will most likely travel to Lake Mead, as it is the closest source of fresh water. The second they leave, Ollie opens a bookcase, revealing the two smugglers who were just standing there like androids in standby mode, revealing that he is actually in charge of the jewel smuggling ring. What an obvious twist! After that, we come to the dumbest and most prolonged scene in the film. Jackie approaches a boat about to leave, and then he gets on the board and starts water skiing. Despite how impractical this is, and that any normal animal would be terrified, he starts jumping and performing tricks and crap. Lewis comes up with a plan to steal a second boat that someone left the keys in, and he starts water skiing across the lake, only to fumble and be hilariously clumsy. Eventually, Ronald shows up for no reason and royally screws everything up, just as Outback Ollie returns via helicopter to capture Jackie with the police in tow to arrest the three. Ollie swaps the collar with a decoy and slips a handful of diamonds in Lewis's pocket, thus incriminating them for the crime. He then reveals that rather than having a kangaroo for his show who can dance and do tricks, that he will have him fed to the crocodiles. No real reason why, he's just evil like that.
You can't do this! You see, my friend Charlie and I, we're the chosen ones!
No kidding. I'll tell you what. I'll let you choose which cell we throw you in.
Hey, not a bad deal there. So Charlie notices the two smugglers from earlier meet with Outback Ollie and leave with him in his jeep, realizing that something clearly isn't right.
Who had time to switch the collar on Jackie before we got to shore?
Outback Ollie.
And who handed Lewis the red jacket with those jewels planted in the pocket?
Outback Ollie.
And whose van did the guys who stole the gems in Australia get out of?
Outback Ollie!
You're right! Now it all makes sense!
With that, this should be a pretty open and shut case. The police wouldn't have records of the fake cops, there were clearly plenty of witnesses with functioning brains on the strip, and the police didn't even bother with interviewing the suspects or Ollie, so they could easily prove their innocence. Not to mention, why does no one think to use Ronald's camera as evidence? From there, Ronald shows up and breaks them out of jail by planting cockroaches in the police station and showing them blank papers he claims were signed by the chief of police. Okay, definitely sure he blatantly broke at least 4 laws here. They all return to the set of the show and confront Outback Ollie, who reveals his true intentions. After he is exposed as the mastermind behind the whole operation, he takes Jesse hostage, but is quickly defeated by Jackie Legs. With the gems recovered, Jackie is safely returned home to Australia, along with the other animals who had next to no screen time. The group returns the gems to the tribe, and the chief explains that he was wrong and that they aren't the real chosen ones after all.
You see, we discovered a second painting. As fate would have it, you are not the chosen ones.
We're not?
Actually, according to legend, you were supposed to have been eaten by dingoes last Thursday.
Okay, then how were they supposed to return to Australia to bring the gems back? Wait, this would also imply that they never left to begin with. Whatever. Lewis learns that the true power came from simply believing in himself. Excuse me, I just puked in my mouth. The chief gives them some gooboo berries or something for their shampoo company, and casts a spell on them to give them the power to be one with nature.
Hey, Jackie, bet it's good to be home with the family, huh?
You can say that again.
Huh? Jackie? Huh?
You can talk?
Naturally. I've been talking the whole time. You just haven't been listening.
One with nature. We're one with nature.
This is unbelievable.
I'll tell you what's unbelievable. 1 minute I'm taking a drink out of a pond, the next thing I know, I'm in Vegas with Elvis. Still, I guess if it wasn't for you, I'd be in the belly of some crocodile right now.
Hey, that's what friends are for.
The film ends, naturally, with a fart joke as a perfect metaphor for my opinion on it, and we finish with a somewhat dated but also catchy hip-hop song. And that was the animated sequel to Kangaroo Jack. Why was it made? This film was kind of pointless and forgettable, but it does have a harmless charm to it, so I wouldn't mind showing it to kids. The animation goes from being decent to straight up lazy and awkward, so there is a big inconsistency with the quality. The voice work is alright, but the writing is often sloppy. There are a few moments when characters blatantly info dump for the sake of informing the viewer, as opposed to gradually providing background information. While some people can watch this without prior knowledge of the original, there are some small elements that wouldn't make sense otherwise, such as a brief mentioning of Salvador Maggio, the relationship between Charlie and Jesse, and the prior connection with Jackie and why he's so important. Overall, a simple cash grab with little to no substance. It might be fun the first time around, but there's not much else I can say. Also, I want to mention the DVD menu. Remember how a lot of DVDs at the time used to have a bunch of fun bonus material? Here we have an animated music video, an educational program by National Geographic, and a fun minigame featuring a few simple puzzles. That's really cool, and I always felt like I was getting my money's worth when they went through all this extra effort, rather than just a bunch of behind-the-scenes footage. Granted, there are some that still do, but nowadays it's mostly just a bunch of general boring stuff. Either way, it's fun, but pointless. It's not the worst animated movie I've ever seen, so I would recommend checking it out at least once. This is the M Crew Dude, signing off, wishing you all a very pleasant day.